Good morning, everybody. As sometimes happens, things go after glide. I was trying to log into Facebook to share my message with you, and I've just had an internet power outage because we have a storm going on here. So I'm recording this message through Zoom, and I will post it as soon as I'm through and have internet service restored for me. It's one of those days in the neighborhood. Uh, Hopefully, this will work okay, but right now, Facebook just is not cooperating with me, which is fitting for today because what I really wanted to talk to you about is stuff. And everyone has stuff in their life. Things they're dealing with. Some are long term, some are short term. Some come up at a moment's notice when we aren't anticipating anything like that is going to interject itself into our lives. And we just have to deal with it. We used to say when my family would gather around together and we'd be talking about what was going on in our lives. And I come from a family of a lot of cousins, all of similar age, so we were going through things basically at the same time. That if we all laid our troubles down in the middle of the floor and walked around them, when everything was said and done, we would pick up our own and take them home with us, because those are the ones we knew best how to cope with. And we would appreciate much more what everybody else is going through in their lives, because it's a guarantee that from time to time, sometimes more, sometimes less, we all have stuff. Well, there's been a lot of stuff going on in my life over which I have no control. And that seems for me to be the biggest issue, is not being able to improve any situation that is happening, that I just have to grow through the motions, support where I can, help where I can, listen a lot, and keep calm. What happens when you're dealing with a lot of stuff, be it in your personal life or in your business life, or with just friends and family in day-to-day matters, nothing tragic, but sometimes everything together gets a little bit overwhelming. That's hard to do. And I get what I call out of balance. It's what my dad used to say was having a glad heart. And that's always been in the back of my mind ever since he made that statement to me when I was probably a teenager. He said, you need to live your life with a glad heart. And sometimes when all your stuff begins to overwhelm you, that's hard to do. So about 12 days ago, I decided I was really out of balance and I needed to right my ship and get my thinking straight and move forward with a glad heart, that I was getting to be a little bit grumpy, and that's never good. And that to me speaks to taking care of yourself, that it's time for me to recharge my batteries, like the little bubble quote above the coffee or the teacup says, and to reorient my thinking. So with this in mind, I started out thinking, okay, I don't have a lot of time. That's the reason I'm a little bit grumpy. So what am I going to do to help myself get right with myself again? I don't have the luxury of taking time off, but I do need to make an effort to get things back the way they should be. In reality, it's always necessary, if you're caring for others, to make sure that you care for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be expensive. And it doesn't have to take a lot of extra time. So, with that in mind, this is what I came up with. And I encourage you, maybe, if you're a little bit out of sorts or in need of a little bit of self care, that you might take on something similar to what I did and shape it to fit you and what best will help you. But anyway, for me, I decided, okay, for the next 12 days, and don't ask me why I thought 12. I guess things are cheaper by the dozen. I don't know. Anyway, I was going to each day do one thing, just one thing that would help me take time for myself and restore my balance and my perspective on life in general. So, with that in mind, Thursday, not this past Thursday, but Thursday before that, I set aside 10 minutes out of my day to make sure that I moved more. And I didn't know what I was going to do because normally I go walking in the morning, but I thought, no, this has to be extra time. So it was a really yucky day that day, but I was determined. And so there are a couple of shows that I really like to watch that I never watch because they don't take time to do it. And I thought, well, okay, I will take some extra time to do something different and something that will keep me active for 10 minutes. So I was looking on YouTube and I found some outtakes from one show that I really, really like. And I thought, I think I'll watch those. And so I plugged them on, got on. I have a bike in my bedroom and a TV. And so I went in the bedroom, turned off the telephone, and got on my bike and began pedaling for all I was worth, set my timer, and turned that tape on. And for the next 10 minutes, I did nothing but pedal and keep active. And I actually built up a little bit of a sweat when it was over, and I felt better, you know? I thought, well, okay, day one down. Good for me. And went about my business. On Friday, I decided one of the things that I had not been doing for lunch, particularly, was sitting down and having a decent lunch. You know, I was gotten in the rut and I was doing a grab and go lunch. So I actually took the time to make my version of a Cobb salad. Set a place at the dinner table, sat down, and actually ate my lunch and enjoyed having veggies in my lunch and a planned meal. And when it was over, I just sort of sighed and I thought, that was really nice. I should do that more often. You know, I took a little bit of extra time to do it. Saturday came along, and Saturday was a really, really busy day. And I'd almost forgotten about it. I was outside working in the yard. And I thought, all right, what are you going to do today, kiddo? And so I decided I was just going to sit on the deck because I love sitting out there and looking at the animals that go past and the flowers and the birds that come and feed. And I spent the next 3 minutes, just 3 little minutes, sitting there taking slow, deep breaths in through my nose, out through my mouth, just feeling myself actually relax. And when the 3 minutes were up, I was good to go again. Sunday came, and it was a perfect day for this, you know. I decided I was going to write down 2 things that I'm grateful for. It didn't take me long at all to jot down those 2 things for which I am truly grateful. And I sort of smiled to myself and spent a few moments reflecting on these 2 things. And they just began to open a floodgate of all the other things that I'm grateful for in my life. Such an easy little thing to do. 2 things you're grateful for. Monday, I needed to prepare for my Zoom with you, and I knew I wanted to share the storybook message. So I had that all put together and organized things so that before our time together came up, I was ready. And that made me feel really relaxed and stuff as I logged in to talk with all of you. I wish I could have done it today, but those things do happen. But that made me feel really good last Monday. Tuesday was sort of a wild and crazy day. I was here, there, and everywhere, and I was standing in line, and I thought, well, what am I going to do today? There's all this stuff that still needs to be done. And I thought, I'm just going to chill out while I'm waiting in line. What a perfect time to just do a few little stretches. Nobody's going to notice. I'm just going to gently stretch a little bit. And that really helped me relax. It's a simple thing, but it helped me relax. On Wednesday, it was very, very hot here. And that was a sort of a no-brainer as to what I was going to do on Wednesday because, again, I had gone for a walk and I'd been out and about in the heat. And I thought, I am not drinking enough water. I've got to drink more water or I'm going to get really dehydrated today because it's so hot. And while Southern women are not supposed to perspire or sweat, we're supposed to glisten and glow. I got news for you. I sweat, particularly in my hairline. So I made sure that I drank some more water on Wednesday. Thursday this last week, I actually, when I went for my walk at the park, and I never ever take the time to do this, but Thursday I did. I was out in the fresh air. It was a nice day, and it had rained overnight, so it was a little bit cooler. And I found a bench at the park. And I just sat down for a few minutes and looked around and appreciated everything that was around me. And my reward for doing that was watching a turtle cross the grass very slowly, very deliberately, like he had all the time in the world, and he just strolled across the grass. And I waited until he had gotten to the edge of the grass before I got up and finished my walk. Friday, I had gotten a note from the little boy who lives next door who has decided that I am his best friend. And he had stuck it in my door jamb as he was leaving with his mom to go to his daycare for the day. And he's not writing really, really well, but he's doing pretty good. And I opened this little note from him with his big printing on it. And as I'm reading it, he was thanking me because his grandma doesn't live here. She lives far away in another state called Virginia. And he signed it, "Love, your friend, Ben." Well, that just made me smile so much. And that was my self-care break for that day. Couldn't have asked for a better Friday. Saturday just passed. I decided I'd think about 2 more things that I was grateful for. And Saturday was the day we did the Tops Talk with Dr. Kadabi. I know many of you attended that event, and she shared some wonderful insights and important information on the microbiome. And I had the opportunity to host that particular meeting because Rick was celebrating the adoption of his grandson that day, which was just awesome. And Ashley Pfizer, who is one of the retreat directors, filled in the spot I usually take and did all the technical background stuff while I got the pleasure of visiting with Vidya. And I thought how grateful I am in TOPS that there is always somebody there who's got your back and can help you out when you need to help, and how lucky we are to have technology that connects so many of us from all over the place in time and space for these special types of meetings and for chats like we're doing today. And then on Sunday, I decided I'm going to be bold and I'm going to go big. And I decided to actually unplug, which, if you all know me, know that is a huge thing. And for virtually the entire day, I was unplugged from social media. I was unplugged from my cell phone. I was unplugged from my house phone and just enjoyed being in the moment, whatever happened on Sunday, which was really refreshing. And so today, my self-care journey has come to the point where I feel as if I'm back in balance. And what I'm doing today is reaching out to you, my fellow TOPS members, and thinking how good it feels when somebody tells you that they are thinking of you too. So often we tend to forget the small things, and to me, it's not a small thing, but people think it is. I am so grateful you are there for me. I try my best to be there for you, but your support and encouragement of each other is a way of life for me. And very often, you are the ones that help me stay in balance and to appreciate all my blessings while I deal with all of the stuff that all of us deal with. So today, I just am really feeling I have a glad heart again. The 12 days was well spent, making sure I snatched just a tiny bit of time for myself to sort of stop and smell the roses and appreciate all the good in my life, of which you are certainly counted. So now I'm going to close and try to figure out how to get this posted on Facebook. Thanks so much for joining me. I will talk to you later. Bye for now.